Look here, I'm gonna cook on this right from the jump. Some of y'all might disagree with me. This was a ugly loss in the sense that they they were not on the same page. The coaching staff was not on the same page. The players were not on the same page, and you saw it evident in the game. Shout out to Nola Boy, Sports and News, the brother James. Um, James brought up a good point, and so did Luda Ryder. Shout out to Luda Ryder too. And one of the points, that he brought up that I do agree with. Now, I disagree with James is that it all fell on Dak or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see Dak as a game manager per se. You know what I'm saying? Like when he first came in, you got to realize, man, he led the Dallas Cowboys three, and what the reason why people were critical of him was because what he throwing the long ball and all that other stuff, and you don't throw the long ball, and you just you run, you do short yardage and do the running game, and manage the clock. Then they just got the perception of that. I'm not saying that's what James did, but I mean most people they see it like that. Me myself personally, I see Dak as a superstar quarterback, future Hall of Famer. He didn't need to apologize for anything that he said. Wrong, whether you see it right or wrong. Look, and it was the way that he felt at that time, in terms of the officiating. I felt like he probably apologized and stuff like that is because people have this perception of Dak Prescott like he's just this innocent guy or like model citizen and all that. Look, he don't get. I mean, he had a little trouble off the field, but it wasn't like where he got arrested or nothing like that. I think he got into a fight or something like that. Why I couldn't remember. I quite remember. But other than that, he hadn't been in any trouble with any law or any of that stuff. So listen, leadership, man, is many different forms. Some people lead by example. Some people got hardcore ways of leading, and then you got guys that truly know how to motivate their team without being disrespectful about it and stuff. But then you also have the ones that are disrespectful about it, and that fires the team up. Whatever leadership style fits you, then that's you. With Dak, look, Dak came in and he pretty much has been himself. But see, the thing about it is that what you don't know about Dak is he's a killer. He's got a killer instinct. He saves all his bottled up stuff for the field. Now, was that evident when they played against the 49ers? No, no, not until the end of the game. But the reason why I don't really put it all on Dak or whatever is because Mike McCarthy's play calling, especially in situational football, has always been suspect, right? And then on top of that, the offensive line, they weren't fully on the same page because they hadn't been playing together for that long because people been in and out and stuff. And listen, y'all might not think this or y'all might think that this is really not important, but was not the defense had a lot to do with the offensive stuff because the defense man are supposed to keep do everything that they can to get stops and keep Dak on the field, keep him warm and everything because it was cold, it was a madhouse. So the defense does have they had a lot to do with it. Was I disappointed in Trayvon Diggs? Yes. Was I okay with Micah Parsons? I was disappointed, but also we got to address that situation because you got symptoms going on during the game and stuff like that, right? Vander Ish, I've said it before. It's time. I told Lou the writer it might be time for him to go ahead and go. And playmaker Michael Irvin, he pretty much feels the way that I feel. Like, Mike McCarthy, he has to go. Kellen Moore, he has to go. Now, if he does stay, him and Dak are going to look. It's important that people understand this. Dak and Mike McCarthy haven't been on the same page, and it was evident in Hard Knocks. That relationship right there is not good. They don't have a great relationship, and it's important that a quarterback has a great relationship with the head coach, of course, and the offensive coordinator too. That's extremely important. And when you go watch Hard Knocks, like I told Lou the writer, because Lou the writer, look, the reason why I reference Lou the writer, James too. These guys are football heads, and we had already talked about this. Me, him, Goat Mike, and Taj, who were all on the stream that day. And we pretty much, had well, I disagreed, what I'm saying? They said that, doing Hard Knocks was a bad idea. I felt that it was a great idea, not because of the whole marketing thing that, maybe Jerry Jones had ideas about, but more so about looking, going in depth as to truly what was going on behind the scenes. And what you saw is that Dak and Mike McCarthy didn't have a good relationship. Dak, I don't know, Mike McCarthy, he's just not a good communicator. That's what everybody's been talking about in terms of Frank Vogel. You might be great at X's and O's and stuff like that, but when it comes to what's up with it, Jacob Jennings? I see you in the building. Yeah, talk about Dak. Basically, what I'm saying, Jacob, is that Dak didn't need to apologize for anything, and he should just go ahead and stand on his principle. because he felt the way that he felt. He felt the way that the fans felt. Matter of fact, a lot of people weren't blaming Dak. A lot of people were blaming more the officiating. It's more a lot of the guys that are outside. There's a lot of people that are pushing for Mike McCarthy to be fired. There's a lot of there's a lot of people that are talking about Bandit he should go ahead and just get out of the way of Parsons. And there are a lot of people that are telling Jerry Jones, of course, he needs to go ahead and hand over the reins to his son, to help the progression with everything. But like y'all saw in the press conference, you saw Dak was extremely upset, and he, like I was saying, Jacob, he doesn't have a good relationship with Mike McCarthy. And like I was just saying a few minutes ago, that relationship with your quarterback is extremely important. Now look, I'm not with the going the other way and all that other stuff. No homo and pause when I say this, but a quarterback relationship and a coaching relationship is almost just as important as the relationship with your wife. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that y'all got to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? When you watch Hard Knocks, Jacob, I want you to go back and watch it when you have some time. Don't have nobody around you. Like, just watch and observe, because I don't think people really observe behavior. A lot of y'all don't really aren't observant of people, like behaviors, their body languages, the way that they communicate, things of that nature. You saw that something was off between Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. It was like Mike McCarthy was not ready for Dak to come back. It's like he didn't even care whether he wanted him to come back, and Dak really didn't care about what's it called, Mike McCarthy neither. It's like, yeah, I got to put up with him. And Ezekiel Elliott, I think he feels the same way. Now, that's another thing that needs to be addressed about Ezekiel Elliott. Look, I went off on Ezekiel Elliott, the other day. You know what I'm saying? I said some things that, I guess you could, I'm not going to say it's out of emotion, but it's just from what I saw. But it's because when Ezekiel Elliott had first came in the league, like, this guy's potential was unreal, unmatched. And I said, man, this guy is fitting to be. He kind of reminds you of like what Derrick Henry is doing, what Taylor was doing, and stuff like that. But Deke had not done that. He's had his stuff off, stuff going on off the field and stuff like that. We know that. But the biggest thing is that, okay, you got paid $90 million and you failed to produce. You're one of the ones that damn near got $100 million. A running back that got $90 million. I mean, come on, man. You got to know what's going on. But I don't want to hear none of this. Oh yeah, well, man, the offensive line, all this other stuff. No, Zeke has not produced at the level that we have wanted him to produce the whole entire season. Okay. That he's been struggling in the last 8 games. Well, Dak came in. Dak. Let's tackle that. Let's tackle that, Jacob. That right there had a lot to do. What's up with it, True Viking? I see you in the building. That right there had a lot to do with personnel being gone, Jacob. You know, guys were in and out pretty much the whole entire season. The only guys that really stayed consistent without really missing any games, because Dak missed a few games too. That was Parsons stayed trill and stayed real the whole time, and Trayvon Diggs. You know, and I give respect to Vanda. If she actually stayed full throttle, Randy Gregory was hit or miss the whole season, right? Amari Cooper was hit or miss, some games, and a lot of this had to do with the boogeyman and stuff like that too. But a lot of it was injuries too as well. And me myself personally, I don't think the Marcus is. I don't think he's fully healthy, man. I think that shoulder is still bothering him, Jacob. I mean, that's just my opinion. But you said Dak had been struggling, the last 8 games. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at that, because we can't just base it off of what you see on TV, or what you've heard, or any of that, right? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, look. Let's take it back to Las Vegas, right? He didn't struggle in that game, Jacob. He had 375 yards, two touchdowns, and no interception. Had a 106 QBR, right? Against New Orleans, I managed the game somewhat, in that early December. But the thing about it is that he still had 238 yards, had one touchdown, one interception. He struggled against Washington. We know that. He threw the 2 interceptions, had a QBR of 58.8. Right. New York Giants, he didn't struggle against them. He had 217 yards, one touchdown, no interception, 90. He just managed the game pretty much. He didn't really need to do anything. No interception, 98.6 rating. Now, this is the biggest thing, Jacob. You see, when you say these things and you say that he's been struggling the last few games, you really have to put emphasis behind it as to what you're saying. Okay? You said that he's been struggling, right? Well, against Washington, he had 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a QBR of 131.4. Right? Okay, let's keep going. Against Arizona, and by the way, he didn't throw any interceptions either, Jacob, in that one. Matter of fact, over the last 4 games, which include the Giants, Washington, the Cardinals, and Philly, he didn't throw any interceptions up until that San Francisco game. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, against Arizona, he had 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 105.8. Okay? Now, Jacob, you said he was struggling, right? The last 8 games. Against Philly, he had 295 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Guess what his QBR was? It was 151.8. Hey, Jacob, the last time I checked, struggling is a 69 point something, a 70 point something, not a 98.6, not a 106, not a 131, not a 151. Right. Where was it against San Fran? Like I said, he didn't show up against San Fran, and I'll give you that. But we're talking about, you said, the last 8 games. 6 games he was efficient, Jacob. In 6 games he was efficient. And DeMarcus Lawrence was that nigga before he got paid and he got hurt. Come on now. DeMarcus Lawrence was that end. He was that end before he got hurt. And a lot of people didn't notice he was playing hurt. That's why you have to go watch Hard Knocks. Right. But Jacob, you said the last 8 games. They didn't play the Broncos in the last 8 games. Understand what you're saying, man. Have you had your coffee this morning? Listen, this is the last eight games for you, Jacob, okay? You said the last 8 games. The last 8 games started on November 25th against the Raiders. That's 1. Against New Orleans. That's 2. Against Washington. That's 3. Against the Giants. That's 4. Against Washington again. That's 5. Against Arizona. That's 6. Against Philly. That's 7. San Francisco was number 8, Jacob. Where's Denver in that motherfucker? Oh, no. You see, Jacob, why you backtrack like that, motherfucker? Come on, man. This is me you talking to. See, you, listen, man, I'm going to need you to step on this motherfucking panel again, man, and really, we need to talk logic out in this motherfucker, because that's the perception that y'all have of Dak. I know you, and I know you know your quarterback and stuff, and it's not you. I know Jacob knows his team. I'm fucking with Jacob, y'all. But what I'm saying is that these motherfuckers sit up here, oh, well, Dak, he's struggling. He's doing this, he's doing that. Nigga, a 151 QBR is not struggling. A 131 QBR is not struggling. And he did it 4 games in a row in which he was 100 or higher. Well, with the exception of 1 game, he had 98.6, but I mean, damn. Yeah, true Viking. You know, we oh, Dak gotta go. Dak gotta do this. Dak gotta do that. No, Dak don't need to go no motherfucking where. Do you realize what type of injury that this motherfucker came off of? You can't even look at that motherfucking injury is so gruesome. Okay? The type of injury like Sean Livingston, the type of injury like Paul George, the type of injury like Odell Beckham had, the type of injury like Kevin Ware. His leg went the opposite direction. And this motherfucker came back and made the playoffs, and they had the best record, and they were the highest scoring team, even with personnel being hit or miss. Oh, now we want to go back to Jason Garrett offense. Man, come on, man. Like, man, why do you keep tap dancing? Jacob, man, you doing ballet and shit. See, I knew you was fucking around with them gymnastic ballet and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That you just up in there trying to do ballet and shit like Ice-T and shit, man. Come on, man. Listen, we could talk about Jason Garrett's offense all day. I've already said that Mike McCarthy. Listen, Mike McCarthy does not know situational football. And listen, to them motherfuckers on First Take, hey Jacob, they still in our talking points, man. They didn't start talking about situational football until guys like me, Lou the Ryder, and Nola did. They still in our fucking talking points, man. No, 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 no. Hell no. Why would you? Why you gonna do that, nigga? He got his money. Why the fuck you, dog, Jacob? Why the fuck you gonna go get Deshaun Watson? Listen, I like Deshaun too, but he's not on Dak's level. Come on now, and then you talking about a guy that been sitting out, he rusty stuff like that. Still got to learn a whole new offensive stuff. Got to learn his coaches. Fuck all that. Look, I'm doing everything I can to get him in a Steelers uniform over there in Washington, or even fucking Carolina. They could use him. What did you tell Lou about Deshaun, True Viking? Listen, I'm advocating for Deshaun to play again, but not for the Cowboys. No, listen, Dak don't need to go anywhere. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Dak. It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with Dak, man. Listen, give Dak. Hey, I guarantee you, he's gonna bounce back next year. Listen, Jerry Jones. Hey, look, man, I like Jerry Jones, and I respect Jerry Jones too. I don't like what happened between him and Jimmy Johnson. Okay, that was a fucked up situation. We all know what that was. He didn't have to bring, Barry Switzer, man. That motherfucker did what fucking John Gruden did to fucking Tony Dungy and shit like that. Barry Switzer, and I respect Barry Switzer and stuff like that, but he wasn't no fucking Jimmy Johnson. Look, I guarantee you this, Jacob and True Viking. If Stephen Jones was running things, he'll bring Jimmy Johnson back in that bitch. I would have Jimmy Johnson in that motherfucking front office immediately. Listen, Jimmy Johnson is one of the most, like, nobody talks about this motherfucker, the greatness of this motherfucker. Nigga, everywhere this motherfucker went, this nigga made greatness out of programs. I mean, the U. All you gotta say is the U. Went to the U. Then came to motherfucking Dallas. And Dallas, I think Dallas, the season before, man, Dallas was fucking struggling. People were giving up on Dallas. They were going on nigga. You had motherfuckers going to the fucking Steelers. They said, they were bandwagoning to the Steelers. When Jerry Johnson came, took a little bit, turned that motherfucker around. Because everything started to pick up in Dallas too as well, especially when you talk about the industrial Fort Worth too as well. Dallas, Jacob knows what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't understand that the DFW area is a hub. When you talk about Dallas, Fort Worth, this is a hub for business. Everything's coming through here. This place never stopped booming and it never stopped building. That's what, okay, people want to try to argue me about Jerry Jones and stuff like that. No, you need Jerry Jones around, but just sit your ass down in the rocking chair with your yak and then feed your knowledge from afar. You'll do better that way, because you can't just put Jerry Jones invested a lot of money into that AT&T stadium. You got to think about what's been in that stadium. Of course, high school games. College, the Final Four, the NBA All-Star game, shit, the fucking concerts. You know what I'm saying? They have events that go on there. It's not just the Cowboys. So this motherfucker is, a marketing genius. He's a tycoon. Even at about to be fucking 70, 80 years old. But yes, he needs to sit his ass down in a rocking chair. Look, hey, Jacob and True Viking, Nah, I don't work for you. Hell no, you, nigga. If anything, you work for me, nigga. I don't work for no motherfucking body, nigga. Hey Jacob, you got the yes sir boss mentality. Yes sir boss. Yes sir master. Fuck that. Nah, I'm the master. Who? Hey Jacob, True Viking. What's up with it, Mike? I see you in the building. Hey, what they say on Bruce Leroy's Last Dragon? Who's the master? Nigga, they gonna say show enough polo. Yeah. Nah, but it's time for it. Look, he got to sit down. We got to address that situation. Look, Dak apologizing. He shouldn't have apologized, nigga. That nigga don't have to feel shame for anything that he did. But see, y'all want Dak. Listen, these motherfucking the media and the perception of Dak. Oh my God, Dak Prescott. He said that. I thought he was a good guy. I thought he was a model citizen. Man, y'all don't know. Motherfucking Dak is from fucking Louisiana, man. This motherfucker is a killer, man. Not like that. I'm saying he got a killer's mentality. But yeah, this motherfucker's, he need to stand on what he says. I know. Yeah, yours is. I'm here to collect, motherfucker. I'm here to collect, nigga. Hey, look, nigga. Hey, Jacob. You remember that movie American Gangster? Hey, look. Hey, I'm that. You that motherfucker Idris Elvis. Nigga, I'm Frank Lucas. I'm walking back outside. I'm walking back outside and I'm addressing you. I want my money. Where is my money? And if you don't come up with the right answer, there are no ifs, ands, or buts about that motherfucker. That's how I'm going to collect. You were right about the 49ers. Nah, you ain't no Frank, nigga. You goddamn hey, you Hey Jacob. Yeah, you could go ahead and have Frank Lucas. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take Bumpy Johnson in that bitch, right? Because Bumpy Johnson pretty much taught Frank Lucas every fucking thing that he knows. And Bumpy Johnson was the one that ran Harlem. Not it was Bumpy Johnson and the the Sicilians and the Italians. So yeah, you know what? You can go ahead and have Frank Lucas because I don't. Hey, I know Bumpy Johnson wouldn't dime anybody out. He wouldn't dime anybody out. You said that Prescott should ask for a trade. No, no. Why are you gonna do that shit? Look, man, Mike. Look, that's the thing with everybody, man. When shit get hard and stuff like that. Oh man, I should get a trade or anything like that. Nah, man, Dak Prescott is in the right place. They gotta make some real tough decisions. What's up with it, Jelly Bean? Make sure y'all go subscribe to the boy Jelly Bean 4280, man. You know what I'm saying? Jelly Bean got video games. Jelly Bean got boxing, much like Jacob talking that boxing. He's a boxing savant. Jelly Bean got motherfucking NBA 2K out in that bitch. Jelly Bean got motherfucking Call of Duty out in that bitch. Jelly Bean got motherfucking, he want to talk about life. You know what I'm saying? Jelly Bean, man, look, man, it's a conglomerate over there, man. Y'all go subscribe to the boy Jelly Bean, man, 4280. Salute to you, Jelly Bean. Who y'all can folk? You know, we gotta stop. We gotta stop being like, oh yeah, man, oh man, you know what, man, yeah, man, let me get a trade, da 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 da. Nigga, this ain't the fucking NBA. It's just like what I was talking about yesterday with De'Aaron Fox. That motherfucker, De'Aaron Fox. You see the Kings don't want to move on without him. They want him and Halliburton to stay there with the Kings and stuff. But everybody like, oh man, De'Aaron Fox, he going here, he going there, and stuff like that. That be the media pouring that shit up in there. Now Marvin Bagley the third, he ready to go. That's a whole nother situation. I ain't gonna talk about that. You know that stood on his principle, man. He said what he said. Y'all hit the like when y'all come in here, man. He said what he said. One playoff great, one playoff win. How great? Yeah, how great was Romo? How great was Romo? The last time I checked, he hasn't been consistently eight and eight each year, Jacob. Come on, you gotta come stronger than that. He was 13-3 out the gate, Jacob. Okay, but then now you want to start hating on that. But see, yeah, exactly. So so which one is it? Okay, you love the man when he winning, but then when he down, oh, it's Dak fault. Oh yeah, it's Dak fault and everything like that. I guarantee you, man, if Dak would have made it, if he would have won two playoff games, you still would have been pushing for that nigga. You wouldn't have gave that nigga no props. You need to be giving that nigga props for doing what he did. Of course, he's already surpassed Romo. He plays better in the red zone. He's better under 2 minutes. Okay, yes, he fucked up against the 49ers. Hey, Jacob, you talk all this shit about Dak Prescott. Let's go ahead and do the QBRs. 101 against Tampa Bay, 101.4. 143 against Philly, 130 against Carolina, 116 against New York, 108 against New England, 127 against Atlanta, 106 against the Raiders, 131 against Washington, 105 against Arizona, 151 against Philly. All good for 104.2 rating. Guess what his rating was last year? It was 99.6. Guess what his rating was right out the gate when he came in? It was 104.9. He's always been consistent. 99.7, 96.9. You want to know? You want to know what Josh Allen's QBR is, Jacob? Guess what Josh Allen's QBR is? 98.5. Guess, Mister. I hate that. Because yeah, y'all motherfuckers, y'all just say shit just to make it sound good and shit. Guess what Dax is? 104.2. But you call that nigga trash. Oh yeah, he trash. He trash. Yeah, yeah. Lamar, he will bounce back. Nobody going to win with Jerry Jones as the owner. They'll win with Jerry Jones, might, but the thing about it, he got to sit down. I've already said that. You said send Amari to be more. We'll take him. Nah, listen, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. Uh, he and I like Coop. You know what I'm saying? But he was messing up in the beginning, but he made up for it. But it was little too late. Now Amari Cooper, he's had somewhat of a down season because of the boogeyman and also the ankle. I can't front. CD Lamb, he showed up this year. And I give CD Lamb his props, even though he had he had them drops, man, in the game and stuff. But CD Lamb, I give him his props, man. Uh, One could argue that the CD Lamb, a lot of the games he outplayed Amari, but Amari was seen as still as that better guy. But CD Lamb showed the fuck up this year. That's in comparison to when he was when he was leading in drops and shit. Okay, okay, Stephen Green, you think that the 49ers are going to win against the Packers this Saturday? Okay, I'll hold you to that. We'll have to see. Okay, you said did it advance you to the NFC Championship? No, it didn't. Right? But what did Romo do? Romo is nowhere near the success level that uh, that Dak has been within the last couple of seasons. He's a great regular season quarterback. That's it. By the numbers and stuff. You put him in the playoffs, you put him in a clutch situation, he does not capitalize. What you saw from Dak yesterday, dog, that wasn't all on Dak. You keep Dak, his fault. You got to look at the other parameters that's going on. But y'all want to. It's just like with the Lakers. Oh, listen, every week is somebody different. Well, this week, hey, then now they talking about Frank Vogel. His ass is on the line, okay? And I'm gonna talk about the Lakers in a little bit too, and I'm gonna talk about my fucking Philadelphia 76ers, fucking Joel Embiid doing all this shit in the regular season and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But then when he get to the playoffs, nigga, then he wanna play like ass, okay? And then I already talked about Jokic, who is making a strong case for MVP right now. Jokic, like I said, is in mode. Savage mode. I already said that. John Morant and fucking Giannis yesterday both had 33. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, DeMar DeRozan, man, came in, man, playing great against the Cavs. Okay, dog, is that a life jacket? Is that a float that you got, Jacob? You keep saying that's Jason Garrett's offense. Okay, we know that. If it's Jason Garrett's offense, what the fuck did that got to do with situational football? What the fuck did that have to do with you making ill-advised decisions? And when it comes to 2 minutes, when it comes to a 2 minute drive, what the fuck did that have to do with your play calling in crucial situations? Who cares if it's a lot of coaches have taken over and still have been successful using the previous system before. We gotta come with something else other than that though, Jacob. Look, the fact is, like I said, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta ride out, y'all. These are the things that need to be done. Okay, nigga, when the last, I already said that. I already said that, Jacob. Go back and listen. I said that Zeke has not been the same. He's not been the same. He has not been the same. Matter of fact, Pollard has outplayed Zeke. I already said that. I agree with you on that shit right there. I part ways and I disagree with you, Jacob. When you talking about it's all on Dak, and you said Dak played horrible in the last 8 games and all this other shit. That's not the case. Yeah, listen, if Dak played better than Mahomes this year. If he was throwing interceptions, had a QBR of 60 and 70 and all this other stuff, and not even fucking managing the game and shit like that, okay, then you would have an argument. But you don't have an argument. The only argument you got is what happened, what semi happened against the 49ers. But even then, you can't really bring just a great argument with that, because the offensive line was not on the same page. The running game was not on the same page. The defense, they weren't on the same page, and they were getting plummeted. We can sit up here and say it's Garrett's offense. We can sit up here and say it's Shanahan's offense. We can sit up here and say it's Tomlin's offense. We can say it's fucking Lombardi's offense. We can say it's Parcells, Belichick. I don't give a goddamn who offense it was. Nigga, man, you got to show up in situational football. Dog, why you keep bringing up the Broncos? like nigga, dog. Even with the Broncos, that nigga only threw 1 interception. Yeah, his QBR was low. I think he had 232 yards. Okay, damn, one damn game. So he didn't do good against Kansas City. Okay, he played worse against Kansas City than he did with Denver, because he had 216, no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Hey Jacob, his worst games were against Washington and Kansas City. It wasn't against Denver. He had a QBR of 58.8 against Washington, and then against Kansas City, he had a QBR of 57.9 because he threw 2 interceptions in both those games. It wasn't Denver that was the worst game. Right, but you're talking about one game, Jacob. You said 8 games. Come on, where we at? Look, Jacob, right, he gonna go back there. Oh, it's Garrett's offense. It's Garrett's offense, man. Come on, man. Hey, Jacob, you got a lot in your bag. You know that. You got a lot in your bag full of excuses, man. You try to make every fucking excuse, man. Nah, let's talk about the fact that what you just said about Zeke not showing up and Pollard showing up. Let's talk about the fact that personnel was missing. Let's talk about Randy Gregory. Let's talk about what we said about DeMarcus. You know what I'm saying? Him not showing up. Let's talk about Vander Ish being a shell of his fucking self. Let's talk about Trayvon Diggs. Even though I love him, he led the league in interception. He's all pro. He got burnt on a lot of plays. Huh? Let's talk about the fact that they didn't have uh, their important wideout in Gallup, right? Come on. Oh, but it's all Dak's fault, right? Come on, man. You want Dak to be the fucking fall guy for everything, and I'm not having that shit. I'm not gonna sit up here and call Dak no goddamn game manager, nigga. A game manager don't have a QBR of fucking 151. That ain't no goddamn game manager, nigga. What the fuck is you? What the fuck is you smoking on? You smoking that good shit. You know what I'm saying? You must be smoking that loud. Exactly. Jelly Bean knows what I'm talking about. Listen, I like Trayvon Diggs. Hey, I think look, he was the best, in my opinion, the best corner this year. You know, but he got burnt a few times. He got burnt against the Raiders. He could beat the good teams. Yeah, he could beat the good teams, Jacob. If everybody was not there. They had people in and out. Like, you know, that you got to give him credit, dog. He bounced back after that fucking injury, though. Okay, dog. Like I told Lou, he beat Philly. You know, okay, Philly wasn't. He beat he beat Philly, and they were over 500. You know what I'm saying? But the argument was that he didn't beat no teams over 500, which I understand that they barely lost to us against Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? Um, they wait, let's see. I gotta go ahead and go, y'all. Against the Chargers, I think they beat the Chargers, and during that time the Chargers were actually pretty good. They were doing pretty good at the beginning of the season. Hey, y'all pull up to the next stream, man. I gotta bounce out, y'all. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment.